Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome if you're new. Thank you for taking time out of your day to check the video out. We have more PlayStation news, rumors, and leaks to go over and cover, and we are starting with a very exciting rumor/leak coming from a reliable source. We're hearing that Insomniac's Wolverine is apparently, finally, ready to be shown again, an official re-reveal, and apparently we're going to be getting a state of play at the end of this month. And we did talk about this recently, how we just watched the 007 state of play yesterday, but a lot of people were confused as to whether or not that was like the show that Sony was going to put on for the month of September. But I was letting everybody know that no, they have another one coming. We don't know if it's a showcase, we don't know if it's state of play, but we're getting some really good information here from Tom Henderson over at Insider Gaming. He says Insider Gaming sources have revealed that Insomniac's game's Wolverine is ready to be shown off for the first time officially since the 2021 PlayStation Showcase. According to sources who wished to remain anonymous as they couldn't talk about company plans, PlayStation is currently planning its next State of Play event towards the end of September. So before we go any further, we have two sources now claiming that Sony is doing an event at the end of this month. It continues, other sources revealed that Insomniac's Wolverine is almost certainly going to be at the event, as the production of its next trailer has now been completed. If the game does not appear at State of Play, then the trailer will undoubtedly be released in the next few months, with the Game Awards being the next likely candidate. Insomniac Games' Wolverine faced some issues in development following a ransomware attack in December 2023, during which employee information and a substantial amount of game footage leaked online. The hack resulted in some changes to the game's plans, but the extent of these changes is currently unknown. As of the time of this writing, neither PlayStation nor Insomniac Games have revealed when Wolverine is set to be released, but fingers crossed, an answer awaits us in the coming weeks. The game is currently slated to release exclusively on the PlayStation 5. As for what else the next State of Play event could feature remains to be seen, but it's likely to feature Bungie's upcoming marathon, a new Metroidvania God of War, and they also say here Insider Gaming has it on good authority a mainline title for God of War is also in the works, Phantom Blade Zero, and possibly even Naughty Dog's Intergalactic The Heretic Prophet. So this is honestly incredibly exciting, right? People come to my streams constantly, or even to my videos, and are asking about Wolverine. Where's Wolverine? When are we going to see Wolverine? It's been years. Is this game canceled? The amount of people that I've seen assuming this game has been canceled is honestly not surprising, considering how long it's been. But yeah, man, this is awesome. I want to say here that I think, and I know I'm that guy, I'm the Showcase Hopium guy, I know that, but I'm starting to think that we may actually be looking at an upcoming showcase. Now, I don't want anybody to get their expectations too high, but my logic behind this is that even prior to getting this information about Wolverine, we know officially Sony is planning to show off Saros gameplay. Saros was revealed in February, and they confirmed you're going to get a gameplay reveal before the end of this year. So that's one thing that's officially confirmed. We also know that Marathon needs to be re-revealed, and there's going to be a big push to kind of win people over with this game. So that's two first-party things from Sony. We also know that this God of War 2.5D Metroidvania game was supposed to be revealed earlier, but got slightly pushed back, and so that's something that needs to be revealed. So that's three first-party things. But now we're hearing that Wolverine is apparently ready to show. That's now four first-party things that, you know, seemingly are going to be shown off before the end of this year. But you also consider other things like, you know, Intergalactic, right? When are we going to see that? What about Media Molecule's new game? What about the other live service titles? What about Sony Bend and Bluepoint? Do they have something to show off? I know that I sound like a broken record. I've been saying these things, but I'm just kind of highlighting this because it really does seem like Sony has quite a bit of first-party stuff that is finally ready to be revealed and shown off again. And, you know, when we think of a state of play, it's not that they couldn't do a state of play. It's not that they couldn't have a massive first-party presence at a state of play, but it's just traditionally the way it goes is Sony holds showcases when they have like more than one or two things to show from first party. But, we could very well just get a state of play where the big ending first party reveal is here's Wolverine again, which let me tell you, I would be more than happy with that. But, it just seems like there's a lot there. And so, yeah, this is very exciting. I was very eager to report this to you guys and talk about it. And so, it's September 4th now. We just have to be patient and, it'll be interesting to see if we get any more rumors or leaks regarding what Sony's plans are for this show at the end of the month. But let me know if you're excited to see Wolverine revealed. We are going to move on to the next topic, though, which talks about Stellar Blade 2. We have a report here from PlayStation Lifestyle. They say developer ShiftUp is planning to expand its critically acclaimed action game Stellar Blade beyond video games. In a recent financial report from ShiftUp, a section titled Main Products and Service highlights the success of Stellar Blade, both on PS5 and PC. It's here where the report mentions expanding the franchise by developing various derivative works. Through this, Stellar Blade was able to effectively secure a new user base and further strengthen its position as a global AAA franchise IP, reads the translation of the report. We plan to develop various derivative works to expand the Stellar Blade IP so that Stellar Blade can establish itself as a well-made IP. With Stellar Blade seeing tons of success when it launched last year, it's not a surprise that ShiftUp is planning to expand on the franchise. In a presentation document from May 2025, the developer revealed its plans to release Stellar Blade 2 by 2027. So, yeah, I know that there's a lot of people who are big fans of Stellar Blade, and I have no doubt that a lot of PlayStation players are going to be very excited for Stellar Blade 2, but they're planning on doing much more with the Stellar Blade IP other than just making a sequel, which, considering that this is the way things are done with successful IPs these days, not too surprising. Next up, though, we're talking about Cronos The New Dawn. This is the new IP and the new horror game from Bloober Team, who is coming off the very successful release of Silent Hill 2 Remake from last year. And for those wondering how this game is reviewing, we take a look here at Metacritic, and based on 52 critic reviews, it's currently sitting at a 79, which is, I would say, pretty good overall. This is, again, a team that has been making horror games for some time, and they've been improving the quality over time. They really proved themselves with Silent Hill 2 Remake. And so, here they are with another new IP. And yeah, generally speaking, it seems like, from what I gather, some of the negative points of this game are that it's a little bit padded. It's maybe got a couple of pacing issues. It's a little bit long in the tooth. I think it's like 14 hours or so. But for some people playing the game, it feels like it didn't need to be that long. And, if that's something that doesn't really bother you too much, it seems like if you're into horror games, this is something you might want to check out. But there you go. This is a game I would like to play at some point, but there's just so many games coming out. I'm sure you guys are facing the same problem, decisions to make, right? And it's also worth noting that PS5 is the only console, or just the only platform, that's getting a physical version of Cronos the New Dawn. So keep that in mind if you're somebody who cares about physical games. But speaking of physical games, we have another title that was released earlier this year that people loved, and I think it was a day one PlayStation Plus title. It's now going to be getting a physical edition. This is coming from Gamatsu. They say I Am 8-Bit, in cooperation with publisher Raw Fury and developer Dogubomb, has announced a physical edition of Blueprints for PlayStation 5. The Global Retail Edition and the I Am 8-Bit Exclusive Edition are available to pre-order now, with a launch set for November 21st at $35 US. So I just wanted to let you guys know about this again because, and a lot of people on this channel care about physical games and physical media, and a lot of people also really enjoyed Blueprints, so there you go. Let me know if it's something you're planning on getting. Moving on from that, I want to cover this interesting report coming from WCCF Tech that talks about Silent Hill F and how it's apparently doing really well with Unreal Engine 5. They say here Silent Hill F will be a great showcase of what Unreal Engine 5 can deliver with proper work in terms of image quality and performance, judging from some early impressions. In a new video shared on YouTube today, Digital Foundry revealed that the PC and PS5 build available during Gamescom last month behind closed doors did an excellent job showing how the engine by Epic is fully capable of delivering clean image quality and stable performance with no stuttering. The game's performance in particular sounds impressive for a game powered by the engine, as it ran at a stable 60 FPS on base PlayStation 5 and on PC, though not at native 4K resolution, with 30 FPS locked cutscenes that still manage to look great thanks to very good usage of motion blur. Better yet, none of the obnoxious stuttering issues too often seen in UE5 powered games were present, which definitely sounds promising. The game looked so clean without the typical temporal noise seen in other games, and ran so well that it was almost difficult to tell if it was powered by Unreal Engine 5 according to Digital Foundry. So I thought this was worth highlighting because we're coming off of the release of Metal Gear Solid Delta, which is also an Unreal Engine 5 game and obviously has a myriad of problems that people are still waiting for Konami to correct and release patches for. But Silent Hill F is the next one. It is built in UE5, and it seems like this game is going to be on the opposite end, where it's going to be incredibly well optimized for the PS5 and PC and just in general. And it's going to really be, I think, a potentially, based off of what Digital Foundry is saying here, a showcase of what can be achieved through proper optimization of UE5 for your game. So there you go. Let me know if this is a title you're planning on playing. The final topic talks about Steam's upcoming console. Coming from WCCF Tech once again, before the Steam Deck, it seemed like Valve had decided to stay out of the hardware business, settling instead for its pretty sizable chunk of the PC game market. Since the success of the Steam Deck and the rise of handheld PCs, however, the thought of a Steam console doesn't feel far-fetched, and we've already heard rumors about an RDNA 4 powered device in the works. Now we might have just learned what Valve is planning on calling it: Steam Frame. That's if the recently discovered trademark for computer hardware and a computer game console are correct indications of the device's official name. The trademarks were spotted on Reddit and were filed by Valve as of yesterday, September 2nd. Both are trademarks for the name Steam Frame, which is at least a tad bit more creative than Steam Console or Valve's previous attempt at this, which was the Steam Machine, though it's still worth taking with a certain amount of salt considering the fact that there's been no official confirmation from Valve that it's actually working on a console. And so I just wanted to let you guys know about this because, yes, we've covered in the past how apparently Valve, if the rumors are to be believed, is planning on making an actual Steam console. And I guess this does make sense. It seems like the next natural progression from what they did with the Steam Deck and, you know, how people really like that handheld. And so, according to this trademark, it might end up being called Steam Frame. And if I'm not mistaken, I think more recent rumors claim that this console is going to be, I think, like a little bit more powerful than the PS5, or it's going to be something that is a step above the current gen consoles, but nothing like too outlandish, nothing too crazy. I don't know if people would really consider it like next gen, but again, these are all rumors, and so it's going to be really interesting, you know, to see what Valve does with this upcoming console. And we also know that Microsoft, their next console, is going to offer Steam. And then we have the PlayStation 6 in the mix with all of this. So yeah, there you go. Guys, that's going to do it for the video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you found it informative. If you did, be sure to leave it a like. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Hit the bell notification icon and feel free to share this video out on top of all that. But until next time, guys, take care.